Hello, I'm Deborah Sword. Tyson and I talk a lot about asking good questions. You've heard the expression, an answer is only as good as the question you ask. I've asked a question, and from the answer I get, I know I asked either the wrong question or used confusing words. So, how do you word good questions? What are some of the components that make up a good question that won't make a conflict worse, that will help your conflict analysis and reveal opportunities for learning or even solutions? AI lists qualities of a good question. Those are helpful in conversations. I put those qualities in the show notes because practicing good questions when you're calm lays a framework for when conflict is upsetting. But what's a good question in conflict situations? Is it the same list? Well, yes and no. In conflict, it's the same qualities as in calm conversation, but thought about differently. A question you ask a friend when you meet for coffee won't land on your friend the same way if you meet to see if the friendship is over. I've been late to meet a friend and was greeted with, "Where were you?" Simple question. I can assume the question has a number of meanings. If my friend and I are on good terms, I assume the question comes from worry whether I was okay, curiosity about what delayed me, frustration because my friend had rushed to be on time, annoyance if it made us late for an event, and so on. I'd apologize and tell the story of what made me late. I'd repair my mistake to improve the quality of the relationship. But if my friendship with this person was difficult, the question could signify anger at being kept waiting. I'd still apologize, but more defensively because it might feel to me like the question was asked as a gotcha. It might tip me into deciding the relationship wasn't worth the trouble. So use the AI list to learn how to ask a good question. And now let's make it specific to conflict. A good question that's useful in conflict has these qualities: the right words, an inquiring intention that asks what you want to know in an authentic tone that's appropriate for the context and the people in the situation for the purpose of improving the quality of your relationship. And wow, that's a lot. So here's two examples. How do you recover from a question that wasn't helpful or awkwardly worded? So let's say you awkwardly worded a question and realized it wasn't helpful. Among friends, an awkward question gets you teased. In conflict, an awkward question can trigger fresh arguments. A sincere apology acknowledges your question wasn't well worded. That will help. But you asked a not so good question and got a reaction. Does that reaction bring up fresh information, expose new interests, or perhaps another resolution option? Don't let their reaction distract you from apologizing and explaining what you meant that you said kind of awkwardly, but do learn from their reaction. Second example. What if the answer to your good question is aggressive, unhelpful, defensive, or maybe just silence? Among friends, a question can produce defensiveness, anger, or silence. An apology if you offended a friend and gentle inquiry about what you unintentionally triggered can repair and strengthen the quality of the relationship. In conflict, your question that provokes an unhelpful reaction can leave you feeling blindsided. It was, after all, just a question. If they got aggressive, defensive, angry, or went silent, that reaction is also new information. What in your question do they not want to answer? Do you want to apologize or ask it again in a different way to uncover what they don't want to talk about? Is this a time to ask a follow-up question rather than apologize or retract the question? For example, you might say, "Your reaction makes me wonder if the answer to my question is something you're trying to hide from me. If I'm correct about that, it's probably something I should know. So do you want to tell me now or pick a time that's good for you?" Or maybe this is a good opportunity to open up and share your own ideas and point of view. For example, you might say, I asked a question and you went silent. While you're considering your answer, I'll share how I see we can satisfy our mutual interests. The summary: a good question opens hearts to listening, even in conflict. You have IA's list of parts to a good question in calm conversation, and now you have suggestions for how to use that foundation in conflict. Thanks for listening. I hope you'll subscribe to our podcast, like it, share it, ask good questions, leave a comment, let us know what you want us to talk about. Thanks again.